Over the past centuries, Native Americans experienced significant discrimination. From assimilation to genocide, they have faced every type of inequality. Long before Europeans supposedly discovered America, tribes stretched from coast to coast. They were highly organized civilizations with one tribal chief. The rest of the tribe was divided into bands, usually consisting of 500 members, with a government council for each band. Despite these civilized cultures, Europeans saw the tribes as savage. As a result, they captured members and sold them as slaves, thus igniting a 4-century-long genocide, almost bringing Native Americans to extinction. After all the death and destruction, many gave up and agreed to the terms of the Europeans. However, throughout the years, various individuals and groups have stood up against these injustices. One of these people was Russell Means, a Native American activist who grew up on an Oglala reservation where he was taught to value family, community, and survival. The Los Angeles Times described him as the most famous Native American since Sitting Bull and Crazy Horse. By giving countless speeches and attending many pro-Native American rallies, Means aimed to create a positive and peaceful image of Native American heritage. In 1973, Means truly captured the attention of the nation when he led a 71-day armed takeover of Wounded Knee to avenge the death of 300 Native Americans whom the U.S. Army massacred there in 1890. Russell Means dedicated his whole life to promoting Native American heritage, and in doing so, raised awareness about the injustices perpetrated against them. One organization that stands up for Native American rights in the 21st century is the National Indian Child Welfare Association, a nonprofit organization created in 1983 and based in Portland, Oregon. Comprised of Native and non-Native people, the group has had many names and iterations over the years, but its goal has always been the same: to prevent child abuse and neglect in Native American tribes and to keep Native American children with their families of origin. Mark Mitchell is a member of the St. Francis Sokokai Band of Abenaki in Swanton, Vermont. He has been a political activist for 40 years and was appointed to be the Commissioner of Indian Affairs 3 times.
To have my children go to the St. J. Academy and want to look like me, but the St. J. Academy has rules, and if you want to look like me, go somewhere else to school. So, but my wife and I wanted them to go to the academy, so they had to follow the policy.
As often as possible, Mark Mitchell advocates for the rights of the Abenakis living in Vermont. Towards this end, he has participated in many fish-ins.
So the fish-ins served really 2 purposes. One, it was to show that we aren't going to conform with the state of Vermont in buying fishing and hunting licenses. We could have up to 2,000 on both sides of the Missisquoi River. We would target a Saturday, and then we would let law enforcement know about it. So on a Saturday, game wardens, state police, sheriffs on both sides of the river are now being paid overtime, so we're draining their budget, state budget, and they're issuing us all fishing tickets. So then 2,000 of us show up on the steps of the St. Albans courthouse and demand a jury trial. A jury trial for a $100 ticket at the cost of $3,000 to $5,000 times 2,000. Do the math.
These people, Russell Means and the NICWA, knew that the cultural assimilation of Native Americans was wrong and spoke up about it by giving speeches and educating people. This is still an issue today, with some tribes not recognized by state or government, and social media telling young Native Americans that their culture is uncool. But there are still people who can make a stand. You can be one of these people as well. You can sign up to be a member of the NICWA, or you can support tribe efforts to be recognized by state and government. You can help protect Native American culture. You can make a difference.